welcome to the Grim Tape. If you're new here, welcome to the nightmare. And if you haven't watched episode 1, I highly recommend starting from the beginning to fully experience the story. If you've been following the series, welcome back, Survivor. I promise you, this chapter is one of the most intense and immersive yet. So before we dive in, make sure to subscribe, hit the bell, and like the video. It really helps the channel grow and keeps these stories alive. Now, without further ado, let's jump back into chapter 7 of The Apocalypse, The Test.
Footsteps. Fast, uneven, desperate. Rick tore around the corner, shotgun up and shaking, lungs heaving like he'd run through hell itself. Rex wasn't far behind, swinging an axe into the jaw of a crawler that tried to lunge from a trash pile. Both ducked into the alley beside the docks, backs to the brick, sweat running through blood-streaked skin. "We're too damn old for this," Rick wheezed. Rex huffed. "You look like you were out of breath." He grinned, wiping blood off the blade. "I'm just warming up." From where we were standing, Pamela, Maria, Chris, and me rush out to clear the way for Rick and Rex. Garen was already on his feet, eyes locked onto them with the weight of command. They didn't wait for breath. They gave us the truth in one hit. "You're not gonna believe this," Rick started, coughing. "That freak, Breaker, the one from the warehouse, he's leading them." Rex nodded grimly. "He's laying siege to the survivors' compound, surrounding it, starving them out like a goddamn general." Chris blinked. "What do you mean leading?" Rick swallowed hard. "I mean, he commands them. They move like a pack. He senses things. Felt us watching. That's when we ran." Maria scoffed, half laughing. "Yeah, good job scouting, fellas. Looks like you brought back some company, too." The air shifted. A low rumble, growls, screeches. And then they came, a swarm of 30, maybe more, bursting out from the alleys, teeth bared, hands clawing pavement. Not slow, not dumb. Fast, organized, furious. Eyes burning red with something more than hunger, like rage, like orders. Chris fired first, hitting 3 zombies. They dropped to the floor. Pamela dropped one with a clean headshot, only for 2 more to leap over its body. She sidestepped and then puffed, 2 more down. Maria sliced one across the neck. It kept moving. She had to kick and punch it, sending it tumbling backward. And then swiftly finished the job with a pfft. I swung my AK-47 into its jaw. It cracked, but it didn't drop. It screamed. So I fired piff, 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 piff. We were not ready. I saw it before Garen even spoke, his eyes calculating the arc as he shoot. The spacing, the threat. "Fall back," he barked. "Rex, Rick, with me. Clear a path for everyone quick, or we all sitting ducks." Tut-tut-tut-tut-tut. The 3 of them moved like grim reapers. Rick fired short bursts, never wasting a round. Rush. 2 zombies dropped dead with a thud. And another one. Rex swung his axe in vicious arcs, chopping heads after heads of unending zombies that charged at them. Garen, he didn't stop. He is a pro zombie killer at this point. 1 down. Every movement efficient. Another one dropped with a thud. Controlled. And another one as he kept moving. Cunning. They cut a path through the madness, 1 corpse at a time. But the infected didn't just fall. They fought. One tackled Chris to the ground. I dragged it off. Pamela covered me with 1 shot. Then she waited for me to hold the zombie off Chris to get a clear shot. 2 shots. Both center mass right at the temple. Dropped them instantly. Maria screamed. One had her pinned. She managed to break loose, jammed her knife into its throat 3 times before it stopped thrashing. The stench was unbearable, like rotting meat soaked in sewage, with a hint of old blood and something far worse she couldn't even name. We barely reached the alley. Then Garen's plan clicked. He kept clearing a path ahead. In the tight passage, the horde couldn't swarm. They had to come 1 or 2 at a time. We took turns. I crushed a skull with a board plank. Maria dropped one with a machete, slicing the arm of the zombie. And then, right in the mouth. Chris reloaded with shaky hands but held the line. Pamela fired from behind us. Dead-eye calm. 1. A zombie charged at her full force, but with a burst of agility. She kicked off the wall and fired at the zombie below. 2. A sudden snarl from her blind side. She turned just in time to spin kick the lunging zombie, her boot slamming into its jaw with a sickening crack. Then raised her pistol, aiming at the temple. 3. Rick and Rex stood at the mouth of the alley, guardians at the gate. And Garen, he never missed. By the time the last one fell, throat caved, spine bent backward, the alley stank of sweat, gunpowder, and something like burning meat. We were panting, bleeding, shaking, but alive. Garen turned his back to the alley, eyes scanning the rooftops. "They're changing," he muttered. No one answered. We didn't need to. We'd all felt it. He turned to Rex and Rick. "We move soon, but we do it smart. You two scout again," and then gave them an important mission. They nodded with excitement as they are both peeling off into the dusk. Garen didn't sit, didn't lean. He just watched. Quiet. Calculating. I sat down beside a dumpster, hands still twitching from the adrenaline. And I looked at him. For the first time, really looked. No panic, no fear, no rest. Just decisions. Just wait. All this time, every move, every survival, Garen had carried the war in his head. Alone. The air was still heavy with gun smoke and rot. Blood cooling in the dirt around us. Ahead of us, Garen stood near the end of alley, surveying the street like it owed him answers. Chris and I followed his movements with quiet eyes. "He's kind of amazing, huh?" he said, like he was afraid to admit it. "Yeah," I said. "He's unwavering." Chris leaned forward, elbows on his thighs, brow furrowed. "You think we'll ever get like that? You know, calm, strong, fearless?" Before I could answer, footsteps crunched behind us. Maria dropped down beside us with a smirk. Pamela was right behind, wiping her knife clean on a torn rag. "What's all the whispering about?" Chris stiffened, jumped up like he'd been caught red-handed. "Nothing," he blurted, voice cracking just enough to make Maria grin. Then he bolted down the path like he was chasing his own embarrassment. Maria raised an eyebrow at me. "Boys." Pamela smiled softly and sat beside me. And right when I almost was about to finally kiss her lips, Garen's voice cut the air. Low, sharp, certain. "We're moving. Evan, Chris, rear. Maria and Pamela, middle. I'll cover the back. Let's go." We slipped into the alley, feet hushed against cracked pavement, boots brushing over broken glass and old leaves. No one spoke. Garen raised a fist. We halted. He pointed, 2 fingers curved right. A narrow side alley, sharp shadows, low brick walls pressing in close. We turned, single file. Pamela scanned rooftops. Maria checked corners. Chris kept looking behind us, jaw tight. Garen signaled again, flat palm, then motioned down. We crouched behind a dumpster, breaths shallow. A lone infected limped across the junction ahead. Pamela moved first, smooth, low. A quiet thud, then silence. We pressed on. A fence blocked the path, wire twisted across the top, no gates. Maria looked up. Fire escape. The ladder dangled 6 feet off the ground. Chris knelt, hands laced. Boost. She climbed fast, pulled the ladder down for the rest of us. It groaned, but didn't snap. One by one, we climbed up the ladder. And I was like, with a beautiful view unfolding as I ascended. Ahem. Be strong, Evan. The rooftop groaned under our weight, gravel crunching softly with every step. The town stretched in silence below, rooftops like jagged teeth in the fading light. We crossed carefully on boards and planks bridging broken gaps. Chris almost slipped on us. Maria grabbed his arm, steadied him. Garen moved like a shadow, quick, controlled, head always on a swivel. Then we stopped. At the edge of the roof, Garen dropped to one knee, eyes narrowing through a pair of old binoculars. We crawled forward beside him. Down below, through a torn-up alley and past the edge of a gutted parking lot. We saw it. A compound, fenced in with sheet metal and cars, makeshift barriers. Campfires smoldered inside, faint light flickering against canvas tents. But outside the walls, dozens, no, hundreds, infected, crawling, pacing, staring, like they were waiting. The air had gone cold. My fingers felt numb against the rifle. Garen hadn't moved from his perch on the rooftop edge, one knee down, binoculars raised, not a word in minutes. I leaned in beside him, voice low. So? I asked, eyes on the crowd. How exactly are we getting rid of that? Garen didn't look at me, didn't blink. Behind us, Maria muttered, arms crossed. Yeah, unless you've got an airstrike stashed under your coat I'm not seeing a way through. There's 5 of us. That's suicide. Still nothing. Garen just smiled. Not a full grin. Something quieter, sharper, like a man who knows something you don't. Then he chuckled once under his breath. You'll see. He adjusted the focus on the binoculars and kept watching. The fire escape rattled behind us, soft at first, then louder as someone climbed fast, metal clanking under boots. We turned, weapons instinctively half raised, then lowered. Rex appeared first, breath shallow but grinning. Rick followed, sweat glistening across his forehead, chest rising and falling hard. They said nothing at first, just made their way across the roof and joined our circle like they'd been running for hours, and smiling the whole way through. Garen didn't even turn to greet them, still looking through glass. Did you do it? Rex didn't speak. He just gave a lazy salute followed by a thumbs up. Rick mirrored him with tired breath. Garen finally lowered the binoculars. Smirked.
Okay.
He had a plan, and we were about to find out what that plan was.
Thank you all for watching. This marks the end of Chapter 7. Drop a comment below and let me know what you thought of the episode. And who is your favorite character so far? I'd really love to hear your thoughts. That's all for today. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button, and share the video with your friends and family. Until next time, stay sharp and stay alive.